Hi, welcome back to another Conversation Tweets of the Week.
I'm Aryeh.
And I'm Marc. And Aryeh's put together a list of some of the best tweets from the Bitcoin and blockchain world, and he's going to tell us about them.
Yeah, some of the stuff that I found interesting, like always, we'll just take the opportunity to sort of discuss some stuff that we found worth discussing, or that I guess in this situation that I found worth discussing, because this was...
I trust you, man.
Yeah. Okay. So, jumping right in, the first one is at Paul_BTC. As with printing press or internet, the day Bitcoin was created, the world became a more fair and free, and nothing can change that. Which, a lot of this stuff is just, it's always cool to hear. It's always cool to just see it. And this point to me was really cool because it sort of reminds why this all started. Like what was like. Now it's looked at as commodity, and we all argue about, yes, it's a good investment, it's not a good investment, but this is really, the idea is that we're creating, it's an autonomous currency, and that's what it really stands for more than anything else. It's power to the people.
Yeah, so it's a great tweet. You can follow Paul down below, we'll include the link, and we'll probably follow as well. It is a great feel good, and I think it's true. I think it's limiting to think of it just as a currency, because I think it's really an entire movement that's spawned from it. We start with currency, then decentralized government, decentralized everything. And I think a lot of the guys who really helped drive it in the beginning, shout out to Pavel, Eastern Europe, you know who you are crypto anarchists, and self-proclaimed, a lot of them, and really libertarian. So, shout out to the purists, to the crypto anarchists, and his last line, and nothing can change that. The last part of that, I thought that was so cool, because wherever this is going, and I think Bitcoin has proved time and time again that it's not going anywhere. Yeah. But wherever it does go, this is a new step in the evolution of the world. Yeah, it can't be unseen. Yeah. It can't be unseen. That's the point.
This effect, this ripple it's not going anywhere, which I think was
and we've seen. The application of the idea of decentralization, or bringing the power back. We're seeing it being applied by everyone in all sectors, and it's really only the beginning. So exciting times. Good one at you, Paul.
Yeah, good one. Now the next one comes from at Roger Ver.
Shout out to Roger.
So, and this is another one of those ones where they do a comparison. I always love these. I'm a sucker for them. Is if you bought $1,000 in Facebook shares at IPO and $1,000 in Bitcoin at the same time, your Facebook shares will be worth $3,200 versus your $141,000 of your Bitcoin. So, we're talking about Facebook, which is, widely considered one of the number one sites in the world, possibly even considered the number one site in the world. And if you bought $1,000 worth of shares in Facebook, it's not even it's a tiny fraction of what your Bitcoins would be worth today, which is just, it's
No, that is awesome. I'm kind of just thinking about all the thousands of dollars of Bitcoins I didn't buy at that price, or
Facebook, by the way, because I'm not in either, unfortunately.
I'm not so worried about Facebook stock, but. But yeah, cool. Another perspective. There've been a lot of them going around lately, and it's great. I think what's the takeaway? They were all idiots, and if we'd spent the money years ago, we would have made a lot more money. But I think it shows the power, and we really are early on. And I think that a lot of these perspectives are monetary based at the moment. When we look back in a few years, we'll look back today and be like, wow, who could have ever thought that, X, Y, Z would happen, or that this would have spawned, so many good changes in the world. So
is I think it's kind of a cool juxtaposition, those two tweets, in the sense of one gives you the monetary, you could make some money, and the other one gives you the higher level, and you can make the world a better place.
Agreed. So make some money while making the world a better place. Right. And Roger, always great to read what you have to say. So follow Roger.
The next one comes from at Datavetaren. This was something I've seen obviously all over Twitter, all over a lot of social media and different news sites, is what's going on in India. And so at Datavetaren, or Datavetaren, depending on where you're from, the whole debacle in India shows the importance of non-politically controlled cash. Hashtag Bitcoin. So, for those of you who don't know, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, I believe his name is, recently decided to take out the 500 rupee bill and the 1,000 rupee bill. And it's basically
with 24 hours notice.
Right, 24 hours notice. It's just the biggest punch in the gut you can give to your people. I mean,
did you hear? Look, I actually chimed in on Twitter. There was a whole thread about this. I mean, there are probably a lot, but there was one main one from the blockchain guys, and I was actually chiming in with my opinion as well. From what I understand, the aim of the exercise was to reduce corruption, because a lot of the corruption happens with small bills. And there's a whole trick about avoiding detection, and but I think a large percentage of people who aren't corrupt and had these notes.
Yeah.
And
it's just it wasn't done. Wasn't done well. It was done, like you said, 24 hours notice, which is just. I mean, I I don't do anything in 24 hours. What can I'm not getting rid of all my 500 1,000 rupees.
It's like you're sick in bed, or you got to hang on with something. You don't hear the news. You got the next day to the shop. Sorry, this is no longer legal tender.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Really, really a crazy thing. Actually, I was reading. I forgot which news site it was, but talking about this, and just said that on some Indian exchanges, Bitcoin is now worth $806, which is 13%, something like 13% more than the entire rest of the world, and it's just because these Indian exchanges are just people are just the Bitcoin price just jumped there, because of this hit to the community, and just because people are realizing the importance of of non-regulated currency, of decentralized currency, where you just can't have this. No one's going to wake up in the morning and just punch you in the wallet, right?
We always joke about government's ability to just print money. We've got a problem with print money. What? Print money. But I haven't really heard about them just withdrawing it like that. We're going to change the banknotes. We're going to, adjust the currency. Sure. That's it. We will just remove this. Your money, there is no money.
Yeah.
There is no spoon, right?
Great magic trick. Really a fantastic.
No, it's really crazy, and it's. It's definitely pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a lot to say. This is just really, really bad.
Yeah, positive for Bitcoin, really negative for the population of India.
There's an interesting takeaway from here. Over time, especially with inflationary Western currencies, we see a tendency for the denominations to increase, right? Used to have a penny or even less than, a cent doesn't buy anything, so we go to a dime, like a quarter, whatever it is, dollar, and this is an extension of that. 1,000 doesn't exist anymore. It's not even a denomination, right? With Bitcoin, we've seen the opposite, actually. It's the introduction of smaller denominations. 100 million units, as opposed to a dollar and its 100 cents. 100 million Satoshis in a coin. And as Bitcoin has, gained validity and price and whatever else, those 100 million are actually worth something. So as time goes on, the units are getting smaller in Bitcoin, and in every other currency, getting larger.
Yeah.
Which just basically proves that Bitcoin's a stronger spending power.
Yeah.
I mean, not economically, but just because we say so,
Power to the people.
Exactly.
So the next one comes from Bitcoin EDU, at Bitcoin EDU, which I'm assuming is education. Anyway, they posted, if you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to convince you, sorry. And that's Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah. Which I know it's a famous quote, and it's been around for a while, but just thought it's always a good reminder for all of the people fighting the good Bitcoin cryptocurrency fight. Sometimes someone in your family who's yelling about how stupid it is, you just quote Satoshi, and just say, sorry, if you don't get it, you don't believe me, then I just don't have the time to convince you, and I'm gonna go, spend one of the fastest rising currency in the entire world right now. So
it is. It's my favorite quote in the space of all time. Probably a lot of people's. And if you think back to when he actually said it, he was still trying to get people to take coins from him.
Right.
So this was really early on, before people even understood what it was. Long before we'd heard about it. And it's so amazing to look back on it now. because he saw it, he got it, the vision, he believed. And I think a lot of time or at least I sometimes don't appreciate how difficult the adoption must have been in the beginning, driven by a single individual. You had guys like who, some of them still involved, core developers. Shout out to Andreessen, to Shrem, Charlie Shrem, welcome back again. But it's an amazing quote, and a guy who believed, stood by his conviction, and literally changed the world. I actually have a funny story about that, because I have the quote.
Do tell.
I'm gonna anyway. I actually have that quote in my house on the wall. I got the idea originally, like for the way I display it, from Satoshi Gallery. Satoshi Gallery is an amazing company. Two people producing great works of art, son of a bit, a lot of this kind of stuff. Shout out to them. We'll put their link below, and you should definitely follow them. And we'd love to speak to you and feature some of your work on our site. So my daughter, who we like to talk about on the show, not because she's so cool and amazing, but everyone just asks me after every episode, please, you got to talk more about your daughter. So
that's why we come.
Exactly. Before we get another comment like we got a few weeks ago, and we're still waiting for a response from you, we're just going to have you every week.
And you know who you are.
Definitely.
You do.
So she asked me, why do I have this on the wall? And what does it say? So I read it to her, and she asked where it's from, and I told her it's a quote from Satoshi. And she said, Daddy, always Bitcoin. Why always Bitcoin,
That's another quote to put on the wall, by the way. Always Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Okay. Next one is also Bitcoin EDU. And they wrote, this thing was just so cool, and I actually watched a video about it, which is the post was the Knights Templar used cryptocurrency back in the 11th century. So
wow. Explain that one.
yeah. So I also looked at it. I figured, this is just the next Dan Brown novel. He's just writing about cryptocurrency and the Knights Templar. But so I watched the video, and it was a whole video explaining about the Knights Templar and some of the things they did. And this specific part was talking about how pilgrims, when they would travel from place to place, they would have. They would have to a lot of times take money with them. Right, obviously they have to carry it, and carrying your property and stuff like that back wasn't so easy. You didn't have a credit card yet. So they, what they would do is, in order to protect all their stuff along the road, what they would do is they would, in their hometown, let's say they're coming from France or wherever, and they're heading to Jerusalem, in their hometown they'd go to the local Knights Templar, and they would give them everything that they own, and sort of just put it in sort of a safe. And the Knights Templar would give them this script, written in cipher, written in code that no one could decipher, no one understood, and only another Knights Templar would understand it. And as they moved along the road, whenever they needed money or they needed to take out gold, they would go to the next Knights Templar establishment, and they would sort of give it, your cipher would be changed, the coding would be changed, and that would equal the amount of money you have. And obviously if someone robbed it along the way, it would be useless. And then you finish your whole pilgrimage or whatever it is, you get back to your home, and then you give in your cipher, and depending on how much you've spent, you might have, you might be in the negative and owe the Knights Templar X amount of money, which I'm sure most of them did, or you might get basically a return on what you have, which is just such a cool concept that, this cryptocurrency existed back then, this idea of, decentralized currency. It wasn't Spanish, it wasn't Bitcoin, it was just they had their own system, their own money.
No, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it really is, really is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a few technical upgrades, but that's really cool. I didn't know that. I'm gonna check it out. We'll post the link to the video below, so you can go see it.
I believe it was on Reddit. Was the video I watched?
I don't know, but maybe we'll edit that part out, give attribution to whoever posted originally. But you said the whole video was an hour, so
yeah, something like that.
Okay, we'll edit that.
Yeah,
but that's amazing. That's really cool. Born out of necessity, a really elegant solution. And kind of sad it took us, almost a millennium to kind of use it again. But amazing. Really didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah, I thought just a cool thing, and definitely a worthwhile thing. The next one is at C. Gledhill. Bitcoin consumes half the energy consumption of Ireland.
So I don't know here. But I'm gonna maybe call bullshit on that.
Right. So I originally obviously called bullshit on that. I read an article about it. Now it's not like I can substantiate it based on one article. But the point is how much of that is true, right? How much of it is true or not true? The fact of the matter is there's a huge amount of energy consumption in Ireland dedicated to Bitcoin mining.
Sure.
Which is, I mean, whether it's half, not half, we can argue semantics, and we'll put, there's a link to the article on the tweet, so we'll post that down below also, and you could take a look at it and judge for yourself. But essentially, there's a huge.
Well, the fact that people are willing to discuss if it's true or not.
Right.
I mean, that proves the point of how much power is going towards us.
Yeah.
And that's before Bitmain's new Chinese facilities come online. If anyone's seen the CGI rendering of those, there was a nice thread also about arguing about the projected hash power that's coming online with their new plants. But cool, good on Ireland, man. Let's see that number go up. Now, hopefully we see more and more of a move from everyone who's mining Bitcoin to repurpose their energy use and use the byproducts of that for, whether it's heat or agriculture or something, so that we can actually improve the situation and not just be a drain on the electricity grid.
Yeah.
There you go again, doing good, right? That's what we're all about. We're not in this for the money.
Right. And I think that's sort of the central point of the last tweet that I found. So that I think that that people need to not miss what Bitcoin really is and what it stands for, what the blockchain really stands for, and what this concept is. Like, yes, investment, not investment, but through all this we just see that whether it's back in the 11th century when the Knights Templar were doing it, or now when we're seeing all the effects of it and seeing what's happening in India, this is a solution to a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It is a solution to a huge amount of problems, and it's a solution, and I would dare say it's a solution to problems that we haven't discovered yet.
100%.
It's going to solve problems that we didn't even think it could solve. 10 years from now, who knows what we're going to be like? We spoke a little while ago in the office. We were talking about elections.
Yeah.
With election fraud and all these issues that we have. I mean, one of the biggest reasons, with the elections in America recently, people are always complaining about the Electoral College and what it does. And one of the biggest reasons they have the Electoral College is to weed out election fraud. It's one of the biggest reasons they have the Electoral College, to get rid of election fraud, well, to reduce it at least. And I think the blockchain will have the capacity to do that on a much better view, and people can't hate on a blockchain.
Well, people can hate on anything.
Well, they can hate on it. That's
what I've learned.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I've learned in my life. So my father taught me, it's what I'm gonna teach my kids.
I remember on a mountain, my father said, he looked into my eyes.
He said, # haters gonna hate.
Exactly.
That's what he said.
But blockchain for good, definitely. Make the world a better place. It's going to solve a lot of problems, and it's going to speed up the rate at which we as a race can actually develop.
Yeah. And you can make some money on the way. So
join us.
Just don't forget that either.
Headquarters, Waco, Texas.
Cool. So that's all for now.
Nice.
And so keep chasing the Bitcoin dream, and
we've got a lot of other videos. Check them out in our channel playlists, and catch us next week for more tweets from Aryeh and the conversation.